AI Adventures Audiobooks presents Sylfana Greenvale, Episode 7, Encounter on the Road. We followed the road for the better part of the morning, making our way through several hills before the curtain of clouds eventually took over the sun and stole every shadows in the landscape, those clouds being only a grey prelude to the coming rainstorm, as darkness emerges from the northwest, beyond the jagged peaks of the mountains. Sylfana looks up at the dark clouds above, a worried expression on her face.
We should find shelter before this storm hits.
I agree. It seems we still have a few hours left before it reaches us. Hopefully that will give us enough time to find shelter. Let's keep moving and keep an eye out, I say to her, my gaze fixed on the looming clouds. She nods, walking quickly beside me as the darkness starts to fall.
The clouds are getting closer. We should hurry.
We keep following the road for some time when we hear the sound of horses ahead of us, coming our way. After a moment, the shape of a small cart being dragged by two horses emerges in the distance. Our first encounter on the road. At last, we will ask for direction. As the cart gets closer, two figures can be seen sitting on it. Let's be cautious, but I don't think they mean trouble. Sylfana gets closer to me, preparing for any possible danger. We keep walking towards the oncoming cart and eventually manage to get a clear view of it. The two horses are old and the cart is shabby. Holding the reins sits a middle-aged man, and next to him, a young man that must not have turned 16 yet. In the back of the cart, a rough cloth covers what they are carrying. Sylfana looks at the cart with curiosity.
We should greet them and ask if they know where we can find a village.
Indeed, we should. But now that we got a closer look at them, my guess is that we are the one that may seem like trouble. They are common folks by the look of them, I say in a low voice. Sylfana nods.
You're right. They may feel threatened by us.
I raise my hand to greet the two men as the cart closes the distance between us. The reins lash once, and the horses come to a halt. The young man looks tense, poorly trying to conceal his hand gripping the handle of the dagger he wears at his waist. A short sword lays next to the middle-aged man, but he still holds the reins in his hands. The sword is of poor craftsmanship and displays clear signs of wear. These men are no fighters. I nod to both of them and say,
"Good day, travelers."
Sylfana stands beside me, ready to act if needed.
Good day, travelers.
She turns her head to look at the old man.
We are looking for a village or an inn, perhaps.
The older man looks at me, then turns towards Sylfana as she echoes my greeting. The younger man relaxes a little, but his hand did not leave the hilt of his dagger.
If it is direction you seek and not trouble, then we are well met,
says the older man, still cautious. We seek no trouble. We are well met indeed. I turn my gaze towards the darkness over the mountains, looming ever closer. But that storm worries us. Sylfana nods in agreement.
Yes, we would like to find a place to spend the night.
The man still looks at us cautiously.
This is going to be a nasty one, to be sure.
He turns for a glimpse at the northern skies and nods to himself.
Yes, a nasty one. The weather is not what it used to be.
For a moment, his concern seemed to shift from us to the oncoming storm.
If you follow the road north, you'll eventually reach Nafel. But not today if you intend to walk there. However, there is an inn halfway through Nafel and Veen. You may reach it by nightfall if you make haste.
Sylfana nods, relieved.
We are grateful for your guidance.
The young man finally relaxes as Sylfana's words seems to have convinced him. The older man seems less cautious too, nodding at Sylfana before continuing to speak.
We spent the night there ourselves. It's small, but there should be vacancies. As you must have gathered by yourself, it is not uncommon to spend days on the roads without meeting anyone in these parts, so I'll be surprised if they can't provide for you tonight.
Sylfana nods.
That's very reassuring. Thank you.
The man looks at us for a moment, thinking. Finally, he speaks again.
We are traveling from Nafel to bring food and supplies to Veen. We may spare some if you need provision, given that you are not going to reach Nafel for a couple of days at least.
I consider the offer and say, "That's very kind of you, sir. We could use some food indeed, as our own supply is diminishing and we have a gold coin to spare." Sylfana looks at me and then nods.
That would be very much appreciated.
Well, I certainly can't provide you with a gold coin's worth of supplies, but I should have enough silver coins to make it a fair deal.
The man says before turning towards the younger man.
Come on, boy, let's go around the back and uncover the merchandise.
The younger man nods and they proceed down the cart.
Come on at the back, will you?
The older man says. Sylfana walks to the back of the cart, where the men are uncovering their merchandise. I follow her and say, "We heard that the road to the north is getting increasingly dangerous. Did you fare well from Nafel?" In an attempt to gather information. The man stops untying a knot to look at me.
We did fare well. Nafel is far from the mainland, cut off by the mountains. Yet I start to feel something. We all do.
He resumes untying the knot, then adds,
The Fighters Guild has started to send men to patrol the roads. There have been reports of sightings closer and closer to the roads.
Sylfana listens to him, then asks,
What kind of sightings?
Ogres and trolls, mostly. But some reports are of creatures no one has ever heard of before. Abominations thought to be brought about by the plague.
The man glances over his shoulder at the veil of darkness taking over the sky.
We'd better hurry, or none of us will make it to shelter in time tonight.
He adds as he uncovers the back of the cart, revealing an array of crates and barrels. Sylfana nods.
We will hurry. Thank you again for your help.
We will take whatever you're willing to spare and be on our way. I say, looking at the oncoming storm myself, the dark clouds now occasionally illuminated by the raging thunder within. The mountains to the northeast inexorably vanishing behind a curtain of heavy rain and mist. The man nods and starts rummaging through the crates. Sylfana stands beside me, observing the older man rummaging through the crates, her eyes sparkling as she sees a pile of bread and a few apples.
All right, that should keep you going for a couple of days.
The man says as he offers me the bag filled with the supplies he just gathered for us. This is much appreciated. Thank you, both. I say as I reach out for the bag while Sylfana searches for a gold coin to pay the kind man. She eventually finds a gold coin and offers it to the man with a smile.
Thank you for your generosity.
The man takes the gold coin and reaches behind his back, under his vest, producing a pouch.
I've given you 3 loaves of bread, 2 dry sausages, some jerky, dried fruits, some nuts, and a handful of apples.
The man looks up for a moment, whispering to himself, caught in calculations as his fingers extend one after the other on his hands.
That's not right. I'll add 1 gingerbread to even things out. My wife bakes them, and everybody loves them. Pretty nutritious, too.
He says cheerfully. Sylfana looks at me in surprise, as the man adds a gingerbread to the bag of supplies he has just given us.
That's incredibly kind of you.
We need to help each other during those dark times. Otherwise, we might as well give up now.
The man says, while reaching inside of his pouch to get 5 silver coins that he hands to Sylfana.
Here, that should make us even now.
Sylfana takes the 5 silver coins and puts them in her own pouch.
Thank you again for your generosity. It is much appreciated.
We will not keep you any longer. We are grateful, and it would be a shame if your kindness would have you end up reaching your destination under the rain. Both men nod to us as they tie back the tarp. Sylfana nods and says,
We are very grateful. We wish you a safe journey to Veen.
Thank you. I think we will make it in time, although I can't say the same for you. But keep on the trail and you'll end up drying yourselves up next to a warm fireplace and a hot meal. Farewell, and may the winds of destiny be in your favor.
the man says as they both climb back up the cart. The younger man turns and waves at us with a smile. And may they be in yours too. Farewell. I replied. The reins lash, and the cart hastily resumes its journey. Sylfana waves back at the two men.
Take care.
She looks at me after they leave.
We have been very lucky.
Indeed, that was a fortunate encounter, I say while splitting our provisions. When it is done, I hand her her share and put mine into my bag. Now we must make haste towards that inn. I look at the ever-growing, ominous congregation of darkness contaminating the skies. Sylfana takes her share of provisions, looking at the sky with a worried expression.
We should hurry, indeed.